Welcome to my countdown of my favourite films of 2021. Remember, I'm only going by Australian release dates, so films like Belfast won't be included because they weren't released until 2022 here in Australia, and this list is just my opinion. But before we begin the countdown, here are the films that didn't quite make the list. These are my honourable mentions. First up, Luca, an endlessly charming delight with lovable characters and a lot of heart. No Time to Die, with stylish direction, fun action, awesome Bond girls, and Daniel Craig's best work, No Time to Die is an ambitious, emotional, and satisfying conclusion to the Daniel Craig era of Bond. In the Heights, a celebration of community and Latinx culture that is bursting with heart, vibrant energy, and glorious songs. Save Ralph, a heartbreaking stop-motion animated short about the horrors of animal testing. Save Ralph conveys its message with harrowing efficiency, and Taika Waititi's performance is deeply moving.
I'm a tester. My daddy was a tester, my mum, my brothers, my sisters, my kids, all testers, and they all died doing their job. Just like I will. That's okay. Testing is what we were born to do. It makes us rabbits happy. Yeah.
Encanto, vibrant animation and songs, charming characters, and heartwarming themes of family make Encanto an instant Disney classic. Godzilla vs. Kong, dumb, gleefully cheesy popcorn entertainment at its finest. The Card Counter, Paul Schrader revisits themes covered in his previous works to deliver a brooding meditation on redemption with an intense performance from Oscar Isaac. I Care a Lot, a cruel, mean-spirited, and enraging satire of capitalism and girl boss feminism with a sadistic performance by Rosamund Pike as the year's most evil character. Malignant, James Wan's over-the-top demented, goofy, and gruesome throwback to giallo films delivered some of the most fun I had in a cinema all year. And the utterly insane scene in the jail cell is one of the best scenes in any horror film of the 21st century so far. What the fuck? And last but not least, Don't Look Up, one of 2021's most divisive films. Adam McKay's humorous yet terrifying satire of climate change in action, capitalism, political tribalism, and misinformation, Don't Look Up perfectly conveys the frustration and the hopelessness felt by those concerned by the climate crisis. And while it might be bringing no new talking points to the table, I ultimately found it cathartic to bitterly and cynically laugh about just how dire the situation has become. The performances are sensational, with the highlight being Mark Rylance as the first parody of tech billionaires that's actually worked for me, and the ending is a terrifyingly beautiful gut punch.
The thing of it is we really did have everything, didn't we?
Right then, with them out of the way, let the countdown commence. Number 25. The Last Duel, Ridley Scott's medieval Me Too drama about the last legally sanctioned duel in French history, which was fought over a rape accusation. The Last Duel is perfectly acted, brutal, intense, with the duel itself being the most heart-stopping sequence of the year, and depressingly timely with its themes of believing women and how the patriarchy silences women and protects men. But sadly, those strong feminist themes are somewhat undermined by showing the rape itself twice, which is utterly unnecessary and is the reason the film is so low on this list, despite being the best film Ridley Scott has made in over a decade. Number 24, 9 Days. Edson Oda's meditative directorial debut about unborn souls being interviewed over the course of 9 days for the chance to be born has a terrific premise that allows the film to ponder heavy themes, has wonderful music, and a stellar cast, with Winston Duke leading the charge. Number 23, The Dry. Based on Jane Harper's 2016 novel, The Dry is a gripping Aussie crime thriller with solid performances, an enthralling mystery, and a devastating final scene that shook me to my core. Number 22, The Tragedy of Macbeth. Joel Coen's take on Shakespeare's timeless play with gripping performances, beautiful monochrome cinematography, and minimalist set design. Number 21, In the Earth. Ben Wheatley's psychedelic eco-horror film boasts insane, mind-melting imagery, intense set pieces, and a perfect score. Number 20, The French Dispatch. Wes Anderson's latest charming, meticulously crafted offering of quirky melancholy, the anthology film The French Dispatch is a lovingly made tribute to journalism that boasts a fantastic cast and masterfully crafted visuals. Number 19, Candyman. Nia DaCosta's Candyman is a blood-soaked, ambitious, and challenging modern horror classic with imaginative direction, brutal violence, and intelligent commentary on the impact of gentrification and intergenerational trauma and the relationship between art and trauma. Number 18, Cousins. Cousins is the poetic, tender, and moving story of three married cousins who were separated as children, told over the course of decades to explore the impact of colonialism on married people, from land theft to the removal of children from their families. But despite its upsetting themes, Cousins is ultimately an empowering celebration of married women, culture, and ongoing resistance.
I'd like to introduce one of our honour students, Makarita Heirama.
It's Pairama. Makarita Pairama.
And with so many people around the world, not just in New Zealand, perpetuating the narrative that Indigenous people are ultimately better off as a result of colonialism, films like this made by Indigenous people about colonialism and everything that's lost through the process could not be more important.
Your place is here on this land, girl.
Yeah, you better run, you little baby.
Number 17, The Green Knight, a meditation on honour, David Lowery's beautifully acted and scored loose adaptation of the Arthurian tale of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. The Green Knight is a feast for the eyes and is easily the year's best looking film. Number 16, The Power of the Dog. Benedict Cumberbatch delivers an intense, career-best performance in Jane Campion's harrowing, gorgeously shot, and profoundly moving examination of masculinity and loneliness. Number 15, Dune. It's difficult not to get swept up in the spectacle of Denis Villeneuve's Dune. It feels genuinely grand and epic, with jaw-dropping visuals, insane action, glorious costumes and sets, engrossing performances, flawless world-building, and an overwhelming score by Hans Zimmer. Number 14, Eternals. Chloe Zhao's contribution to the MCU has rich characters, a diverse ensemble cast, gorgeous visuals, and plays with big ideas and poses thoughtful philosophical questions. Number 13, Knit Ram. Justin Cazell's distressing and horrifying speculative piece on the life of Martin Bryant, the lone shooter responsible for Australia's worst mass shooting, which resulted in swift gun reform, NetRam, is a deeply uncomfortable viewing experience with an atmosphere of ever-mounting dread that made me feel sick for the entire runtime. Caleb Landry-Jones delivers the best performance of the year, the sound design is impeccable, and the film has a very important statement to make about the importance of gun reform, with scenes like the one depicting how easily Bryant purchased firearms being absolutely terrifying.
So, have you got your gun licence?
No,
You don't have one at all?
I don't have one.
You don't have one?
No.
Ah, okay.
But I've got this.
Yeah, no, I know you've got the money. That's fine. That's not a problem. Now look, it's
If you need more.
no. You're not registering the rifles.
What?
You're not registering these rifles, are you?
No.
No. Okay, so that's fine.
We don't need to register.
No. If you had wanted a handgun, there's no way I could have sold you a handgun. All right. So.
Number 12, Last Night in Soho. Edgar Wright's stylish horror film about the allure of nostalgia has transcendent performances from Anya Taylor-Joy and Thomasin McKenzie, a killer soundtrack, divine costumes, sets and lighting, and awesome visuals. Number 11, Envoy, Shark Cull. Envoy Shark Cull, a heartbreaking documentary about the Australian government's shark control programs that kill thousands of sharks and other marine creatures each year, is a beautifully made film that is bursting with love and affection for Australia's wonderful marine life, and vitriolic anger at our clueless leaders who are responsible for this slaughter that doesn't even keep people safe.
I don't want anyone to get attacked either. Trust me, it hurts. But what we do to them, it's not a solution.
Number 10, Spider-Man No Way Home. Spider-Man No Way Home lives up to the hype, delivering an emotional rollercoaster that had my entire cinema erupting with cheers and applause, and later tears. Number 9, My Name is Gulpilil. Legendary Australian actor and dancer David Gulpilil tells the story of his life in his own words in this lovingly made, tender, profoundly moving and intimate documentary that was made as the icon of Aussie cinema tragically approached his final months.
I'm still in this movie. And this story, it's about me. And no one else can do the life story of me, it's only me. I can do the life about me.
Number 8, Titan. Julia Ducournau's Titan, a body horror film about a serial killer who gets pregnant after having sex with a car before impersonating the missing son of an aging firefighter, is a unique, wild, and utterly insane film that may be full of graphic body horror, but it's also a shockingly tender and heartfelt film about unconditional love and human connection, and a smart commentary on gender roles. And Jim Williams delivers the year's finest score. Number 7, Riders of Justice. Following a soldier attempting to avenge the death of his wife with the help of a maths geek and his colleagues, Riders of Justice is a violent, dark dramedy about grief with endearing, damaged characters, a powerhouse performance from Mads Mikkelsen, and an intelligent screenplay that subverts the expectations of revenge thrillers.
Starter med at placere buffer i fjeder. Jeg kan bare godt lide os. Sådan, færdig. Andenpladsen.
Number 6, The Mitchells vs. The Machines. Energetic and deliriously fun with a lot of heart, The Mitchells vs. The Machines is the best animated film of 2021. Not to mention, it's also the funniest film of the year.
What's a Furby?
Number 5. The Suicide Squad. Gloriously violent, hilarious, weird, and mean-spirited, but not without its heartfelt and sincere elements as well, not to mention intelligent and vicious themes of the horrors of American interventionism. James Gunn's The Suicide Squad is the best film the DCU has to offer. Number 4. Pig. Pig is a beautifully simple and profoundly touching tale of love and grief with a quietly powerful and mesmerizing performance by Nicolas Cage.
We don't get a lot of things to really care about.
Number 3. Firestarter, the story of Bangarra, a documentary about the 3 Aboriginal brothers, Stephen, David, and Russell Page, who turned a newly born dance group into one of Australia's leading performing arts companies. Firestarter, the story of Bangarra, is a lovingly made tribute to these 3 incredible brothers, their art, and their culture, as well as a heartbreaking commentary on the toll of intergenerational trauma and the power art has to be an instrument for social change. In a year full of amazing documentaries, Firestarter, the story of Bangarra, was the best.
Using our art form as our weapons is the way we have to fight.
Number 2. Judas and the Black Messiah. The story of the betrayal of Black Panther chairman Fred Hampton, Judas, and the Black Messiah is timely, inspiring, enraging, and acted to perfection.
Anywhere there's people, there's power.
And at number 1, Inside. The peak of quarantine art, Bo Burnham's hilarious, imaginative, philosophical, melancholic, and visually arresting comedy special is an overwhelming experience that I appreciate more with every viewing.